Okay, so hello. I don't know what I'm looking like here, but we'll see when we edit it. But anyways, this is my $100 beater here. Ford Escort 1990. Runs like a top. As you can see, it's rusty as heck, but this is what I use to run back and forth to the shop when I'm all greasy, because I don't care what I do to it, because it was $100. This is my Honda aerodynamics project. As you can see, I've added a tail on the back, which cuts down on the wake that it makes going through the air. And it had some front end damage when I got it. That's why I got it cheap. So I redid the nose on it, which was all gone. And it eliminated the one grill. And so it's just another project car. Runs great though, and just an ugly beater. And gets lots of looks going down the road. So those are a couple of my other projects, but like I said, this is going to get interesting. Anyways, there's the RV that I was winterizing yesterday, and so that's what took up my time yesterday. But we're going to the shop, so I'm going to go to the shop and I'm going to show you where everything's at, and so you can get an idea of what's going on. And got the steel, got the drive shaft, got a bunch of other little bits and stuff, so hopefully this weekend it'll be running. Alrighty, so I'm going to drive to the shop and see you there. Alright, so we're here at the shop. This is my parents' place. It's about 7-8 miles from my place. And I can see out there they're harvesting. It's not my parents harvesting, but the farmers are out there collecting the beans, soybeans this year. And here's the Blazer as she sits. You can see I got the overflow in, and the radiators in there mounted. The lights were just on there when I was fabbing up stuff for the mounts. This is how I cut the radiator support to rip the motor out. Seen it done by many other people, and then just made plates to screw it back in, and it's not going anywhere. So anyways, that's that. There's the relay. It's actually just a Ford starter relay, $7 or something like that, and that goes to all the glow plug wires. It'll be manual push button. I'm not bringing over any of the other stuff from the Benz for the automatic turn on and turn off. That way I can control it myself. Let's see here. Here you can see the throttle cable thing, and I'm going to mount the kickdown switch right here. So when you hit this hits the kickdown switch. Not going to mount it inside the car like on the Benz. And then here's my oil pressure sensor, a Chevy one, into my little grounding adapter, because it has to be grounded. It floats the ground. And then I got my nipples here that I have to screw in, and my plastic cable. So that's the way it sits in there. Turbo, plenty of clearance around everything there. The water temp sender from the Chevy, a homemade thing there, and I gotta get clamps on here, but this is just all fab work. AC compressor is gone, as you can see, to make room for the steering on this one, because this is really a narrow frame on these things. I started replacing some hoses. This is a fuel line inlet. Got rid of the Mercedes-Benz fuel filter, and made this permanently mounted for the return lines. I'll be adding a fuel filter where I can get better filters more readily without having to special order them. So anyways, that's that. Here's the interior of the Blazer. It's kind of dark in here, but don't have don't have the battery hooked up on here for the lights, but just a four-wheel drive Chevy Blazer. Everything works on the inside. Well, cruise control doesn't work anymore because I ripped that out, but it's in good shape. But typical Blazer, nothing special about it. Besides, it's in good shape for a Minnesota car. There's no real rust bubbles or anything like that. There's a little bit of rust I see, you know, underneath the rockers when I'm under there, but for a 2000 in Minnesota, pretty normal, pretty normal. But it's got at least another 10 years in the body, even if I do nothing to it. So, anyways, here's the people are asking about this. This is off the Chevy transmission, and this little dial here sits around the shift where the shifter linkage goes on. Pivots in there, so when you shift gears on the transmission, it would just sense where it was in its arc. And so here's park, here's reverse, here's neutral, drive, you know, 3, 2, 1, and that is all working. All I got to do is make a linkage that goes from this, from the Blazer cable to this, and then from that into the tranny. So that's how I'm doing that. So on the gauges, the LCD gauge on the dash, that'll all work. Reverse lights are all controlled from there. Here you can see the wiring harness. Went through and taped up the entire wiring harness, cleaned it all up, got rid of all the extra dangling crap off of it. Some of them I just taped over, like this big huge one that goes in the top of the Chevy motor. Just taped it over to seal it up so no moisture could get in there. So I have to do some more there, but just left it on the harness. So that's the Blazer. And so today, picked up my drive shaft. This is just the stock. Yeah, I know the shop's a mess. This is just the stock Benz drive shaft. And I took it to the shop. I said I need it this long from U-joint to U-joint, and they came up with this. Instead of redoing the whole shaft, they just added, since it just had to be added, they made custom lathe the plate in there for the right thickness, and then added this kind of stock issue drive shaft thing. They specialize in drive shafts and stuff there, so they had all this stuff in stock. And then they went from the 3-way bolt apparatus to this 4-way by drilling a couple holes and tapping them, and so that's that. Steel. Here's the steel plate that I got for these go on the motor side. The motor mounts on the motor. One smaller than the other, yes, it's weird. And then these are going to be extensions for because they just don't stick out far enough for it to work for the on the frame, 1/4-inch plate. And then picked up some other steel today too for making the mount for the shifter thing and the shift linkage and stuff like that. So that's where it sits right now, and I'm going to get working on these motor mounts. Oh, and then there's another big old chunk of steel here. That'll be what holds the motor up on those two plates, 1/4-inch, 1.5-inch tube, and it's a 1/4-inch sidewall on it. So anyways, I gotta get busy because it's getting cold here and I gotta get this thing done. So I'm gonna get busy and start making mounts.